Hello and welcome to a new video. We got some really interesting movement from Moonwhisper Games, the team around WoW, which got shut down from Blizzard, and if you haven't seen it, they opened up their own development studio, and after some time they showed some life signs for their upcoming MMO. Some time ago in their Discord server they released some really interesting footage about their game, and it also seems like they revived their Unreal Engine 5 client for their upcoming game. I did not have the time to cover all of this yet, but Kaheto covered the topics and he made two videos which I absolutely want to see because I know how good his content is, so I decided to react on both videos. The first one, which Moonwhisper Games actually showed, and the second one, the Unreal Engine 5 client WoW cancelled, just came back with virtual reality and housing. Both sound super interesting. I will react on both of them in this video and will tell you my 2 cents about everything here. By the way, I will talk with Kaheto and Shelter together soon in my podcast /White. If you have any questions to him, let me know in the comments down below so I can ask him directly what you want to hear. And now let's dive into the video.
The team behind Turtle WoW just published the first real look at the game they're making now. Their first blog post went live today, and we finally get to see some of the actual world. The races, the places, and the thinking behind all of it. Now a lot of people assumed this team would go away and quietly rebuild Turtle under a different name. Something safe and familiar with the numbers changed. Then they opened their very first blog post with a race of towering elephants who pray to the stars. So I think we can put that theory to bed. If you've got thoughts on this one, get in the comments. If you want more of this kind of thing, subscribing and liking the video is the easiest way to catch the next one.
Kaheto does insanely good content, so please support him. Go to his channel and give him a like and subscribe on his original videos for sure, please.
Quick recap for anyone who missed it. Turtle WoW went dark on the 15th of May this year after a lawsuit and a settlement. Less than a month later, the team came back and said they weren't finished. They formed a studio called Moonwhisper Games, and they're building an original MMO with their own world, their own story, and their own IP, with nothing borrowed from anybody. They've also been clearing the old emulation channels out of the Turtle Discord and turning it into the studio's home for whatever comes next.
So yeah, this was a really sad thing for the whole private server community, the shutdown of Turtle WoW. Now Blizzard right now goes after Ascension, as you probably know. They recently released Conquest of Azeroth, which is one of the best games I have played in a long time, at least from World of Warcraft iterations. Probably Ascension will also go down soonish, I can only guess, even when they fight in court. So I hope maybe Ascension will also do something what Turtle WoW here did with their own development studio, because I think it's a great idea with Moonwhisper Games. They have so much expertise in creating a great MMO experience. Turtle WoW was insanely good, and as we can see here, they also are able to design assets, it seems like. The Mastaari, an elephant race. Interesting choice.
Okay, the game itself, the first playable race they've shown is called the Mastaari, and they're elephant people, towering, long-lived, deeply spiritual, and described as sages and scholars rather than warriors. They wander the southern deserts as nomads, and their whole culture is built around the stars. They pray to them, and the magic they use is celestial magic pulled out of the night sky. So the opening race of this world is a herd of scholars wandering around the desert. Nature put elephants near water for a reason, and these ones went the other way. And have a look at the art while I'm going through this. There's one picture with these massive stone pillars standing out in the desert. And down at the bottom of the frame there's a rider on some kind of mount. You can barely find them, they're a speck against the whole thing. So the
this looks like a bear or something like this, right? With an Egyptian theme here. Really interesting.
world looks huge and the people in it look tiny. That always works on me. The detail worth pointing out is how their society holds together. Mastaari tribes treat kinship as something much bigger than blood. So you're family because you were chosen rather than because you were born into it, and the unwritten law that protects that bond is called the blood feud, which is a bold name for the rule that says we love each other. Their homeland is called Mastaari, and it sounds brutal. Endless dunes with terracotta mountains breaking up the horizon, the ocean glittering somewhere off to the west, burning heat all day and freezing cold at night. They've got a capital city too, called Mastaari, and that's where the conflict comes in. The Mastaari are split down the middle. You've got the sage viziers sitting comfortably in the city, and the nomadic shaman still out in the sand, and neither side agrees on which way their people should go next. That argument goes all the way back to their golden age, a stretch where they got rich and clever, and then watched the whole thing collapse into famine. So these two groups have been having the same argument for 1,000 years and getting nowhere. Which might...
Well, this kind of reminds me of orcs and humans in Warcraft. Some inspiration must be from Warcraft, but those humanoid animal creatures also remind me of Breath of Fire, if that's something you know. Another gaming series which I loved to play when I was younger from Capcom. They also had those elephants and those wolves, fox people and something like this inside the world as normal human beings. It's also a part of Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball you also have those animal-like creatures, and it's something they seem to pivot from Moonwhisper Games. I like this fantasy style. Will be interesting to see how they implement all of them in their world.
Be the most realistic thing in the whole blog post. Then there's the bonus race, and this one is stranger. The Tarmund aren't playable, they're the traveling merchants of this world, and they're marmot people, short, stout, welcome pretty much everywhere.
This reminds me once again of Breath of Fire. There you had also those traveling merchants, but in Breath of Fire they were fish people. So I'm really wondering if the team of Moonwhisper Games, Porter and Co. might be inspired by a little bit of World of Warcraft and a little bit of Breath of Fire.
Up in villages and cities and lonely roadside inns with packs full of odd goods and a story ready for any occasion. Their whole culture runs on trade. Every single Tarmund eventually sets out on something called the Merchant's Way, which sends them wandering the world for a reason only their own kind understands. They carry news between kingdoms as they go, so they're the closest thing this world has to a working information network. They're also secretive. The Tarmund will happily talk all night about everywhere they've been, and never once mention where they came from. Nobody knows where these people live, so they'll tell you everywhere they've been, but not one of them will tell you where home is. Then they laid out 4 pillars for how they want this game to work. And if you've spent any time around private servers, they read like a list of everything people complain about in modern MMOs. First one is community. They want a world built to push players together, where the memories worth keeping are the ones you made with other people.
I think this is a really good concept. That's what they also did in Total WoW. Community-centered gameplay is really important in MMOs in my opinion, especially with the rise of single-player World of Warcraft private servers, which are local set up with AI. I think playing together with other people is really the soul of an MMO and is what really makes it fun. That's my 2 cents about it, so I love community-centered gameplay. As we all know, World of Warcraft Classic has become so good only because you were forced to play together with other people to see all kind of content or to just defeat elite enemies and stuff like this. So I hope they will also implement this.
Where the memories worth keeping are the ones you made with other people. Second is your character. They said your character should be a person living in the world, someone you grow attached to rather than a menu of numbers you tune.
Yeah, once again, I think this is harder to achieve nowadays because of social media and the digital room just being so native to us nowadays. We don't see it anymore as its own room. It's basically intertwined with us, even when we can be anonymous there. But I think going completely immersive in an avatar or something like this is not that easy anymore. And to create a really immersive gameplay experience is a really rough task. Especially with so much other games we can play nowadays and activities we can do, experience we can live through. It's not so easy anymore to get attached to a game like this or a character. I like the design aspect here, but I'm not sure if they can do it honestly.
In the world, someone you grow attached to rather than a menu of numbers you tune. Which is a very polite way of saying they've met us. Most of us have picked a spec off a tier list at some point instead of picking the one we actually liked. Third one is no fear of missing.
Yeah, good point. With the min-maxing and stuff like this, people don't want to immerse. They see their character more like a tool to get high numbers in DPS, for example. So yeah, great point from Kaheto here.
At some point, instead of picking the one we actually liked. Third one is no fear of missing out. No seasonal content, nothing limited time that punishes you for stepping away for a few months. The way they put it, the world will wait for you, and your time in it should never feel like an obligation.
That's really, really awesome. A lot of us are older right now. We have obligations, we have kids, we have family, at least the lucky ones. And we don't have time to play 24 hours a day now. That's simply not possible anymore. And it's also not fulfilling anymore. A game should be something which you can enjoy, which you can have fun with, which you can unwind in. And I hate this trend of fear of missing out to force you to play. I think it's absolutely horrible because it starts to stress you out. At least it stresses me out, and that's not what I want to experience in a video game. I want to enjoy a video game. So I think that's an insanely good game design philosophy here. But that's also what Total War was, right? They also had this insight there. So I love that they keep their working principles and transfer them to their new game. That sounds really good.
Worth thinking about if you've ever logged in on a Sunday night purely because a weekly reset was coming. Fourth is choice that actually means something, enough freedom to become who you want to be out there, without the world losing the shape that makes it feel real. The overall direction is old-fashioned Western fantasy, the Grail, the sword in the stone, someone writing.
So this basically means they want to make it completely open world, right? At least that's what I'm reading out of this. Yeah, this can mean a lot. It's really hard to know what the design team and the devs want to do with this. It's also a lot of marketing speech we often hear from MMOs. So yeah, basically most of the time it's open world and then you can see what you do with it. Yeah, we have to see what this will be in the game.
Is old-fashioned Western fantasy, the Grail, the sword in the stone, someone riding off toward a place nobody has mapped yet. They're chasing the feeling those old stories used to have. There's a careers page on the site as well, and it's worth a look for what it gives away. They listed 3 roles, an art director, a concept artist, and a composer. Every single one now says applications closed. So if you were about to go and polish your portfolio, they've already shut that door. They put the jobs up and filled them before most people noticed the studio existed. The interesting part is which roles they went looking for: art direction, concept, art, and music, with no gameplay programmers anywhere on the list. That lines up exactly with a blog post full of lore and nothing playable in it. They're still working out what this world looks like and sounds like. And these are serious postings. The art director job asks for 5 years in game art, with 2 of those leading a team, a proper portfolio, and the usual industry software. All 3 ask for Unreal Engine experience, which is the first real clue about what they're building this thing in. There's one detail in there that'll land for anyone who played Turtle. That server ran a 24-hour radio station with actual DJs in it. Now the same people are paying somebody to write an original score for a world they own.
We will see in the next video, which we will watch in a second, that the whole game will be in Unreal Engine 5, which they already tried to do with their Total War World of Warcraft experience, to rebuild it inside it. And it's something I speculated about when I heard Moonwhisper Games will be their new studio, that they will go this path because they already have assets and stuff like this. It just makes sense. So it will be really interesting to see with their new team members how they will do it. What worries me a little bit is the fact that creating such a gameplay experience of this size is really, really costly. I mean, of course, Total WoW made a lot of money and revenue with their game before, but those job postings, those job titles are expensive and they have to pay for it. And creating a game of this size also takes a long time. This means they will burn through a lot of their money to create it, and it will be interesting to see if they can really do it at the end.
So that's the first chapter. And it is very early. There's no gameplay in any of this. They haven't shown combat or systems or anybody playing, and there's no release window either. The game doesn't even have a name yet. What it has is an elephant, a marmot, and a desert, and that is honestly where we are. Back in May, the team said themselves that they know this is an enormous job and they're under no illusion about how hard it's going to be. Building an MMO has eaten studios with far more money than these people have, and they know it. But as a moment for this scene, it's a strange one. A team gets shut down by a lawsuit in May, and by July they're publishing lore about elephant nomads praying to the stars in a desert nobody can take away from them. So I want to hear where the rest of you land. Are you going to follow this one, or does a brand new MMO from a private server team sound like a stretch too far? And Turtle players, I want yours especially. Does this feel like your people carrying on somewhere else, or does it feel like something completely different that just happens to share a history? Tell me below. Thank you so much for reaching the end of this video. Please leave a like, and you may as well subscribe and stick around for whatever.
Well, my 2 cents about it is I like this. I like the fantasy world, and I like that they pivot a new way while keeping their own gameplay design philosophy inside it. Kaito also made the same point I did here. It will be hard for the team to create a good experience. We have seen more than enough games like Ashes of Creation and other stuff, which just wasn't able to deliver an experience player liked. So this absolutely will be interesting to see. Okay. We will straight up dive into the second video of Kaito here. The Unreal Engine 5 client Turtle WoW cancelled just came back. Virtual reality and housing. I'm super hyped for this one, so let's dive straight into it.
A trailer just dropped for something calling itself the world's first custom WoW client, built on Unreal Engine 5. Full vanilla world, modern engine, voice chat built into the game itself. And if that project sounds familiar to you, it should. This is the client Turtle WoW cancelled. The team behind it is back, on their own this time, with a new server partner, a roadmap that runs all the way to VR, and a launch that's only weeks away. There's a lot here, some of it impressive, some of it strange, and one detail on their own website that I'm just going to read out loud and let you judge for yourselves. If you followed the Turtle story this year, you'll want to hear this one. And if you want more of this kind of thing, subscribing and liking the video is the easiest way to catch the next one.
So this is not Moonwhisper Games, it's another team that I understand is correct. And they are creating a new version of World of Warcraft here. But this will get targeted by Blizzard again, right? So let's continue with the video, what Kaito says here.
Quick history, because it matters. Back in the summer of 2024, Turtle WoW announced something huge. Turtle 2.0, the entire vanilla client rebuilt from scratch in Unreal Engine 5, made together with a second development team. The pitch was that the old client from 2004 was falling apart on modern hardware, and this would carry the game for decades. A trailer landed in September last year, and the reaction split right down the middle. Half the scene called it mind-blowing, the other half said the new visuals looked plasticky, more like a generic MMO than Warcraft, and that the whole idea was impossibly ambitious for a private server team. Some went further and said out loud that it smelled like a stunt to pull in the players and donations. Then in December, with Blizzard's lawsuit hanging over everything, Turtle posted 3 paragraphs. The development agreement was permanently discontinued, no reason given. 18 months of trailers and progress updates ended in a forum post shorter than this section. 5 months later, Turtle itself was gone.
Yeah, we also covered this in the video already.
The client didn't die with Turtle. The court order that ended Turtle bars that team from handing their work to any successor. But the Unreal client was never Turtle's work alone. It belonged to the second team, the one that built it, and that team is now back on their own under the name Unreal Azeroth, and they took the client with them, and they found themselves a new home. A fresh vanilla server called Embervale launches on August 15th, and it launches with this client. So
now I get it. Okay, so the Turtle WoW team was split. They worked together with another team and they created this Unreal Engine 5 client. But probably Moonwhisper Games also have access to it. That's what I think, because they will probably also use it for their game. So the other team just uses their Unreal Engine 5 client and creates their own private server on top of it. That's super risky, especially when Classic Plus from Blizzard comes around the same time now. We have BlizzCon in about a month where they probably announce it. I'm super hyped to play this and to try this out, to be honest, because I think this looks super good and I don't want to miss it, but I don't think this will survive for long.
Roles are split cleanly in two. One project builds the software, the other runs the world. The client builders even say it plainly on their own site. They are not a private server and they don't provide access to anything, they just make a client, which is basically the same setup as before. This team built the client, while Turtle ran the world. Turtle is gone and a new server now stands exactly where Turtle stood. Now the roadmap, let me just run through the whole thing at once. At launch this summer, the full vanilla world in the new client. running in the classic look with a proximity voice chat built in. You hear the players near you and only the players near you. In the
This is so cool. I used the proximity chat add-on on my Season of Discovery revival run, and I had a lot of fun with it. This is such a cool feature, and the map looks insanely good. Wow, I'm super hyped for this, and virtual reality and housing in it as well. In summer 2027, I don't know if the server can live for so long, but if they do, this looks insanely cool.
bottom, a native Android build, same character on your phone. In the winter, the full Unreal Engine 5 visual upgrade they call Modern Mode, free on the same client. And in the summer of 2027, native VR support and player housing. Every single item on that list would be a serious project on its own. A working voice system, a mobile MMO client, a complete visual pipeline, VR, player housing. They're promising all of it on a schedule from a small team, and their site says a closed beta is already running. Now remember the history for a second. The last time this scene got a roadmap from this client, it ran for 18 months and ended in 3 paragraphs. That's the track record behind these promises, and both things are true at the same time. The footage looks real and the schedule looks enormous.
Yeah.
The timing is worth talking about, because at first it looks backwards. The pretty version of the client, the whole reason this project is famous, doesn't arrive until winter. So why launch in August, with the classic look 4 weeks before BlizzCon? I can see
Yeah, exactly.
3 reasons, and to be clear, this is my own reasoning. They haven't said any of it. The first is Turtle. Tens of thousands of vanilla players lost their home in May. And right now they are the most valuable players in this scene because they haven't settled anywhere new yet. Every month that passes, more of them find a permanent home somewhere else. If your whole plan is catching that wave, you launch while the wave is still moving. The second is BlizzCon itself. September 12th is the one day that could change everything. If Blizzard walks on stage with Classic Plus, every project in this scene is suddenly competing with that announcement for attention. Launching 4 weeks earlier means you exist before the noise starts. And if BlizzCon disappoints, you're standing right there, live the same weekend people go looking for an alternative. There is no good launch date after September 12th, so August is the last clean window of the year. And the third is the grim.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, in the end, people will play Blizzard's Classic Plus at least to see what it is. A lot of people say they don't. Also, private server players, they will play Classic Plus. I can guarantee you that. There are some people who absolutely hate Blizzard by now, like the devil, and they probably won't do it. But that's only a small percentage. I mean, we also have seen this with Ascension. A lot of people say they hate Ascension, and now everyone is playing Conquest of Azeroth. It has insane player numbers, so I'm sure this will also happen with Blizzard. But on the other hand, when a gameplay experience this good comes out, people are pivoting in it. It doesn't matter if they play somewhere else. Private servers tend to die. People play at the hype, and then a lot of them go away and they will try something else out, which is absolutely fine in my opinion. So I think when this comes out, it doesn't really matter if it's before BlizzCon or afterwards. They should just not release at the same time when Classic Plus comes out. But if they release it a few months later, people will play this. I'm absolutely convinced about it because it's something insanely special. I doubt Blizzard's Classic Plus will be in Unreal Engine 5. This has its own unique selling point, and I want to play this for sure.
1. This scene has learned that time is never guaranteed. Turtle 2.0 waited to be finished, and it never got to exist. Shipping the working version now and patching in the rest later means the project exists, no matter what happens next. Whatever you think of the rest of the roadmap, that part makes perfect sense. Then there are the parts I can't fully explain, and I'm not going to pretend I can. First one. There are 2 websites out there using the Unreal Azeroth name. One carries the trailer, the roadmap, and the Embervale partnership. The other one says the team has recently set out on its own path, parting ways from prior alliances, and it collects sign-ups separately. Same name, 2 homes, and neither one mentions the other. It could be one team with 2 sites, or a split, or someone completely different using a name that suddenly got popular. I honestly don't know, and anyone who claims they know for sure is guessing too. Second one, and this is the detail I promised to just read out loud. At the bottom of the main site there's a legal text, and it says word for word, no revenue is generated, solicited, or accepted in connection with this project. On that same page, in the main menu, there's a donate button. Further down, there's a section that says the team covers servers and tools out of their own pockets, and anything you chip in helps them keep going. So the page asks for support, and the legal text on the same page says no support is being asked for. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to tell you what that means. I'm telling you both sentences exist on the same page right now, and you can hold them next to each other yourselves.
Yeah, it means that they can be targeted by Blizzard's lawyers, who are absolutely hungry bloodhounds right now, so they will get targeted for sure by it. And that's what it means, basically.
And then we have to talk about Blizzard. Rebuilding Azeroth from scratch in a new engine is seriously impressive work, and it's still Azeroth. The zones and the names and the whole world belong to Blizzard, and that part isn't seriously argued by anyone in these cases. The site's own legal text admits Blizzard reserves the right to enforce its rights at any time. And we've just watched what that looks like. It took a federal court case to end Turtle. Ascension is in a courtroom right now, and this whole year has shown that being impressive protects nobody. What matters is what happens when the legal letters start coming. So a brand new server launching in weeks, built around the most visible client project in the entire scene in the same year Blizzard has been suing everything that moves. Either that's brave or they know something we don't.
They just try to get players in and to monetize it, which is okay when the gameplay experience will be good and when they really deliver like this, but I don't think they know something we don't know here.
Think about how this year has gone. Turtle WoW died in May. Its biggest project, the client that was supposed to keep vanilla running for decades, got cancelled before Turtle itself went down. And 3 months later, that same client is back with a new name and a brand new server attached, promising more than it ever did under Turtle. Every shutdown this scene has been through so far has fed the next thing. The players scatter and the work survives, and whatever comes next tends to come back bigger. And now we get to watch it happen again, live, with an actual countdown on the website. Whether this becomes the next big thing or the next warning story depends on what actually ships this summer, and on whether Blizzard's lawyers decide to get involved. Launch is weeks away, so we won't be waiting long to find out. So 2 questions for you: would you actually play vanilla in Unreal Engine 5? Or does the old look belong to the old client? And after everything you've heard, does that roadmap read as a plan or as a wish list? Get in the comments, I read all of them.
I will absolutely play the shit out of this if it releases. This looks so cool, but I'm also a little bit skeptical. The roadmap seems to be a bit much, like I hate to say here. I totally agree with him here, and I doubt it will ever come out in virtual reality and stuff like this. We have to see if this will release, but when it releases, I want to try this out. It looks super cool, but it also looks like it's a bit much, so we have to see. As always, really great video from Kaheto here. Please go to his channel. I will like this for sure, and also subscribe to him. I'm already subscribed to Kaheto, of course. Please go to his channel, leave a like on the original videos and subscribe to him. Insanely good content. I really love how he summarizes all of this, his style. And I thought the second video will be from Moonwhisper Games. It turned out that it isn't. It is an own private server which comes out basically, but nevertheless it's really interesting. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe and hype this video, and also once again go to Kaheto and like and subscribe to him as well. Thank you very much for watching. Special thanks goes out to my channel members who support me with the hard-earned real life money. You guys are just awesome. See you all in the next video.